Soko. Dear IFMC family, we hope you are doing well amidst this very challenging plenary. We would like to start with acknowledging the stressful time that all candidates today went through and thank LMOs for their patience during the procedures. It is very disheartening to discover a leak of confidential information pertaining to elections. We may not be able to pinpoint the source right now, but we are all parties in this malpractice. Whether an official CCC, PT, IT, PC, ST, SP, NMO presidents, or general members with the access to the NemoBot cloud engaging in such a behavior is extremely disrespectful toward the integrity of the Federation. While it doesn't impact the results, it jeopardizes the sanctity of the election procedure, um, the confidentiality, and the process. After MM24, the Supervising Council will look at today's incidents again to recognize all shortcomings that led to this inconvenient situation. With this being said, for the sake of transparency and institutional memory, we will include this in our next subco report. It is essential that we collectively reflect on today's incident and ensure that such events do not occur again. As a dynamic organization, it's important to learn from our mistakes and improve these procedures in future. As Supervising Council, we will work with EB and EB-elect on this matter. Thank you.
Medicine Sudan, is that a request to be on the speakers list?
Yes.
Okay, I'll extend it. Anyone else wants to be on the speakers list? You can go. Oh, wait. HAM Haiti, you want to be on the speakers list as well?
Yes.
Okay. Medicine Sudan, you can go. And there is that Tio or
Tio.
Tio? Okay, I'll take your last. Anyone else that wants to be on the speakers list? Okay, and before you go, all of you, so I sent an email, and in the past, sent an email. So in the past GAs, it's been well, a recommendation, especially from the COC, Code of Conduct Committee, essentially, that in case there are statements with content that some may feel bad after, or that might be harmful for some of the participants to hear, and so on, that it would be good to say a trigger warning beforehand and allow these people time to leave the room and not participate in the sessions, as well as if someone is being recorded reading a statement, that the recording is only of them and not of the other people present in the room. So if someone would like to read a statement and go in front of the plenary, that the plenary team moves a little bit to the side as the statement is being read, and all these people are reading the statement are being recorded. So in the submissions form for statements, I marked a few of them in yellow that I would like those proposers to let me know when they ask a speakers list and they want to speak about that, and I will be adding them on that special speakers list. And we will be giving 3 minutes break for everybody to leave the room if they want to and don't want to listen in on these details. We should recognize that not everyone has the same emotional capacities or desire to process certain information. So please be mindful and respectful of this. This has been a long time discussed and has led to a lot of unfortunate situations in the past when we have not respected this. So please, again, if you feel that the words in your statements might be really harmful, if for some people that hear them, let us know for the trigger warning. Okay, Medicine Sudan.
Yes, I'm sorry, I had technical issues. Can I go or should I wait?
You can go.
Okay, thank you. Dear IFMSA family, the statement is on behalf of Medicine Sudan addressing the humanitarian situation in Sudan. If you support the statement, please raise your voting card or virtual hand. Over the past 11 months, Sudan has been going through an unprecedented conflict.
Wait,
Yes.
sorry. So I assume it's going to be talking about the conflict as it started. If anyone would like to leave the room and not hear this, just
Yes, sure.
I'm going to put you near the end. So anyone that wants to leave the room, I'm going to have HM Haiti first. So anyone that wants to leave the room, you can, before Medicine Sudan starts. Okay, HM Haiti, you can go first. Medicine Sudan, you go second. Is that okay? Medicine Sudan, you don't mind?
Yes, sure. It's okay.
So this is a statement to draw attention to the deterioration of the security situation in AD, which affects hospitals and universities. Dear RFMC family, I am talking to you today with a heavy heart. As a medical student from AD, I feel compelled to alert you to the dire situation in my beloved country. AD, a land of resilience and courage, is currently engulfed in indescribable chaos. Armed gangs are wreaking havoc in our cities, indiscriminately attacking vital institutions such as hospitals and universities. These barbaric acts have plunged our nation into a cycle of terror and despair, endangering the very lives of our people. Imagine hospitals, places of healing and hope, have become targets of blind violence. Universities, symbols of knowledge and education, are now theater of fear and destruction. The fundamental rights of our population are being trampled upon, while our voices are lost in the tumult of oppression. It is imperative that the world pays attention to the humanitarian crisis unfolding in Haiti. We can no longer remain silent in the face of these atrocities. As future physicians, we have a moral duty to defend the dignity and well-being of all individuals, wherever they may be. Together, we can make our voices heard and act for a better future for Haiti. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to assume that everyone that wanted to leave the room left already. Medicine Sudan, you can go.
Dear IFMSA family, the statement is on behalf of Medicine Sudan, addressing the humanitarian situation in Sudan. If you support the situation, if you support the statement, please raise your voting card or virtual hand. Over the past 11 months, Sudan has been going through an unprecedented armed conflict that has resulted in the largest humanitarian crisis in the world, with over 8.1 million displaced persons inside and outside the country, including more than 4 million children, making it the biggest internal displacement and humanitarian crisis in the world. Sudan now accounts for 13% of the all IDPs globally. The already fragile health system has collapsed, and many are suffering and struggling to cope with this situation. Insecurity Insight identified at least 279 attacks on Sudan's healthcare system since fighting started between the Rapid Support Forces and Sudanese Armed Forces on the 15th of February 2023. Until the 6th of February 2024, at least 56 healthcare workers have been killed, 30 kidnapped, and 63 injured. Moreover, no war or armed conflict happens without violations. According to UN sources, as the 25th of January 2024, between 13,000 and 15,000 civilians were killed in West Darfur, Sudan. Since the beginning of the conflict, the Armed Conflict Location and Evidence Data Project estimates that 14,602 fatalities were reported. We believe that the humanitarian system should operate on the fundamental belief and the principle that every human being deserves dignity and respect, and should receive assistance during time of crisis without discrimination. This was not applied in the case of Sudan. The vast difference in the humanitarian response between Sudan and other countries has raised many questions about the role of UN and other international and/or regional humanitarian aid agencies and organizations' commitment to protecting every person in crisis and conflict. Despite the urgent need for greater humanitarian diplomacy in Sudan, there has been little political will from the outside, from the international community, to address the ongoing conflict. The 2024 Sudan Humanitarian Needs and Response Plan appeal is 3.6% funded as of March 1st, 2024. This stands in contrast with the immediate and coordinated response to other humanitarian response plans that were launched in Europe after the Russia-Ukrainian war, for example. Sudan's already fragile pre-war situation has become worse, more serious, therefore, coordinated and humanitarian efforts are needed to save lives. Finally, Medicine Sudan will advocate for protection and human rights through advocating for protection and of the rights and well-being internally of the internally displaced people. This includes ensuring safety, preventing gender-based violence, and addressing the specific needs of vulnerable groups such as women and children alongside the relevant institutions and partners. We will also contribute to initiatives that provide psychosocial support and counseling services to individuals who have experienced trauma and displacement. Mental health services are essential for the overall well-being of the affected population. Lastly, as medical students and Medicine Sudan members, despite all these challenges, our attendance today in the IFMSA March meeting 2024 is to proceed with our active role in the Federation, as well as raising voices and reflecting the situation of our beloved country on behalf of our people back in Sudan. Thank you.
Thank you. In case of any delegates that left because of this, you can inform them to come back. Ms. Theo.
Dear IFMSA family, this statement is on behalf of the IFMSA team of officials and supervising council. Today, you have made momentous decisions for our federation in the upcoming term. Candidates put their utmost effort into expressing their dedication in writing and during their presentations while engaging in thoughtful questions, answers, and debates. We, more than anyone else, understand the challenge they faced. You engaged with them in discussions to select the best individuals to represent our federation on an international level. We congratulate the newly elected Executive Board members 24-25, the Executive Board 23-24, and RDMR 23-24. For some, we stood here 1 year ago. For others, it's less, but we all stood on a different stage, on a different continent, but with the same giddiness, excitement, and joy you feel tonight. We know you are also nervous and unsure of what the next term will bring you. Trust us when we say that despite many challenges, this will be one of the most exciting years of your life. You can expect the upcoming experience to be as rewarding as you hope. We are confident that a year from now, you will feel as grateful and proud as we do today. We sincerely wish you the best of luck with all of your plans, and we eagerly look forward to witness the positive contributions you will bring to this federation in the coming month. To the candidates who were not elected during this General Assembly, we would like to congratulate all of you as well. The candidature process in IFMSA is long and complicated, and it's not easy fit to stand before the General Assembly and offer them your hopes and dreams. Many of us has experienced similar situations, and by maintaining the same dedication and engagement you have demonstrated within this federation, you will discover your path and achieve the recognition you truly deserve. We thank the General Assembly, the candidates, and the plenary team for their incredible hard work. We thank the animals for their diligence and attention to details throughout the process. And lastly, we would love to call for a round of applause for the IFMSA Executive Board members 24-25.
Thank you. I believe with that we conclude the speakers list. Okay. We were due for elections of the host organization for 74th March meeting General Assembly 2025. However, we received no candidatures. Therefore, the elections are not happening. And now we're going to have a presentation of IFMSA General Assembly August meeting 2024 in Tampere, Finland. But also before that, I'm going to just show you the results of the informal vote as they settle in. Well, that may be problematic. Oh, I'm sharing the other. So we had 48 votes in favor, 19 against, and 3 abstentions regarding changing the fees from August meeting 24 from 125 to 145 for A and B, 225 to 260 for C and D, and 290 to 335 euros for E and F category countries. This is not a binding vote, this is a proposal. And according to this, the EB and the August meeting 24 hosts will be discussing further actions. Kimsik, are you ready? Is this okay for presentation? I guess so.
Pardon.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Nabosha. And hello, everyone. I have a first question just to lighten up the mood. How many of you understood our roll call? No one? One person, maybe? Okay, good. Don't tell anyone what we said because we don't want to get into trouble. So, my name is Pani Tran. I'm the vice head of OC.
Hi, I'm Erica Tuomikoski, and I'm the other vice head of OC. Right. Yeah, so we'll be presenting AM24. You can put the next slide in. So we have an OC of around 50 people who have been working for around a year now to give you the best GA possible. The OC has been divided into different teams, and here you can see the heads of the teams. Go on. We're trying to go fast because we know you want to get out of here. So yeah, about Finland, or the land of 1,000 lakes. It's one of the Nordic countries, and it's located in the northeast part of Europe. Finland has been voted the happiest country in the world for 6 years straight. And it's also one of the safest countries in the world. A good representation of this is that 11 out of 12 lost wallets are returned to their rightful owners. About the climate, we have a unique climate with 4 distinct seasons. Winter, spring, summer, and fall. Our GA is going to take place in the summer. In the summer, the northern parts of Finland see a span of 73 days when the sun doesn't set at all. And also the southern parts of Finland get to enjoy light for around 20 hours a day, which I personally love. About the people in Finland, we are notoriously bad with people skills. We don't like small talk, and we're really bad at making eye contact, but also the Finns are really kind, which means that if you meet a Finn and if you befriend a Finn, you get a friend for life. Go on. Then about Tampere, which is a city where the GA will be held. It's the most beautiful city in the entire country. I might be a bit biased because I live there, but a little bias never hurt anyone. Tampere is the 3rd largest city in the entire country, but what makes it different from other big cities in Finland is that when every other city is very widely spread, Tampere is very compact, meaning that you get to enjoy the big city, but also about 15 minutes outside of the city, you get the beautiful nature, which is the best part of Finland. Yeah, Tampere has everything pretty much. We get the culture, we get all kinds of, wait, what am I gonna say? Sorry, my brain isn't braining anymore. It's day 6. Thank you. Yeah, so in the city, you get culture, you get cuisine, you get all kinds of, what's the word? Attractions, yeah. One of them you can see right there, it's called Näsinneula. It's the tallest observation tower in the entire Nordics. Also, when you go a little bit outside of the town, you get the prettiest trekking paths, and we have 2 huge lakes where you can swim and do stuff. It's actually gorgeous. So I recommend going to see the nature too. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say about the city. You're gonna love it, I swear to God. Go on. Then about the venues, we'll be using 2 venues. The other one's gonna be the University of Tampere Central City Central Campus, and the other one is going to be Kaleva Upper Secondary School. The two venues are located, like the distance between them is like 5 minutes, 700 meters or so, and the walk goes through this beautiful park called Sorsapuisto, which is like dog park, and it's in full bloom in the summer. So it's going to be a nice 5-minute, splash of fresh air between sessions and such. Both of the venues are very modern and they have great facilities for hosting meetings like this. So we have functioning AC and a lot of plugs everywhere. Also, the architecture is beautiful, so I think we'll do good there. And we shouldn't expect any problems, hopefully. Go on. Okay, about the cuisine. So now that the informal vote passed, breakfast will be served at the hotels. Lunch and dinner will be served for the people not attending plenaries at the university. And for the people who are attending plenaries, we will be delivering food to the high school where we're planning on hosting the plenaries. All of the different diets and dietary restrictions will be taken into account, so you don't have to worry about that. About accommodation, we have booked accommodation for 775 people at 3 different hotels, all of which are within a walking distance from each other, the venues, and the venues where we'll be hosting the social program. And the weather is going to be really nice because it's August, so it's okay. Don't worry, walking is good. Yeah, go on forward. Yeah, so the participants will be divided into rooms of 2 to 3 people. All of the rooms in every single hotel have all basic accommodations, amenities, yes, thank you. Meaning fridges, towels, sheets, blow dryers, free Wi-Fi, aircon, you name it. Also, every single one of the hotels have their own special amenities. One of them has an indoor pool and a gym. The other one has a gym too. And all of them have really nice sauna areas. And you should definitely try those because a sauna is a big part of the Finnish culture. Yeah, go on. Then how to get to Tampere. So Tampere has its own small airport, but most of you, and if you fly there, we will be getting you from the airport to the city. But most of you will probably fly to Helsinki airport. If you fly there, you can come to Tampere by train. You're going to be there within 2 hours. It's super easy. The train goes straight from the airport. You can also use a bus if you want to. Some of you might also opt to fly to Estonia and take a ferry ride from Estonia to Helsinki. It takes around 4 hours and it's very beautiful, especially in the summer. Super cheap also, like $20 or something. And then you can take the same train or bus from Helsinki to Tampere for the price of 5 to 10 euros, maybe. Depends. Whatever. Yeah. And then go on. Then in Tampere, you can walk. You should walk because everything is within a walking distance because the city is so compact. But if you want to use public transportation, we have very busy and good local bus line and also a tram, which you can see in the picture down below. You can get by a tram anywhere you want to go. And we also have electric scooters, which I do not recommend you try if you haven't tried them before, but if you know how to drive them, have at it. We also have an emergency room that is very familiar with scooter accidents. Then we have bikes that you can use. We call them city bikes, which means that you have a bike station. You can take the bike, you can drive where you want and leave the bike at another station. So it's very, very easy. Yeah, that's about it on my part.
I think someone has their mic on. Maybe. We can go back to the sustainability because it's not like everyone. Excuse me. Okay, I will continue. So sustainability is quite an important topic in FMSA. It's not like we fly across the world to meet each other, right? We just take trains and stuff. So we have 5 sustainability goals. The first one is that the city of Tampere has made a strong commitment to implement and promote sustainable policies in the cities, and the city actually aims to be carbon neutral by 2030. The second thing is that the transport organized by us will mostly be done via public transport, so we're not gonna create more pollution with sort of private transport. We won't be distributing any single-use cups, just to sort of not create more waste than has to be. We'll focus on waste recycling. We'll give you good guidance on how to do that if you're not familiar. And as well as the food we'll be providing will be as eco-friendly as possible. And then as a bonus, finished tap water is very drinkable, so you won't have to buy water at all. You can just go to the bathroom and just try to sneak some water into your bottle. Next, please. About the social program. We still have a lot of plans that are not finalized due to budget reasons, but at least we'll be organizing the things that are usually in GAs. So NFDP, cultural night, and our social team is actually very creative, and they want to do like a lot of easy free stuff for you. So they might do like a city tour and like they'll do like traditional Finnish university games and such. Yes. Next one. And then to my favorite topic, are there any Scora angels in the room? No? Okay, a few, great. So about LGBTQ plus in Finland and what you should know. It's legal to be gay, so go for it. And the first big step to the right direction was taken in 1971 when homosexuality was decriminalized in Finland. And there's a lot of stuff over there, but due to time constraints, I'll just say that Finland is quite open to LGBTQ plus people, and I hope everyone can be themselves and not worry about how they present. Next. And then about the PGA, it will be hosted in the best city of Finland, which is my university city, Turku. And some of you might remember that we actually wanted to do it in Helsinki, but due to Coldplay coming to town, the accommodation hostel told us that no, we're gonna make so much money out of other people, so we're not gonna, like, we'll cancel your reservation. So we had to move it to Turku. However, Turku is such a better city that I think you'll enjoy it a lot more. Turku is also the former capital of Finland. The venue will be, or the venue is the University of Turku, and the most of the rooms are in the Faculty of Medicine. So you'll get to see our medical school as well. Next slide. You will be accommodated in an interesting accommodation option. It's an old ship which has been renovated into a hostel. And the reason why it's exciting is because Finns love to go to ships or cruises, not ships, cruises to everywhere. So you get to experience what Finns like to do. Also, the hostel was voted as the best hostel in Finland in 2020. Social program, I don't know a lot because we have a pre-GA team for that, but I think they want to focus on traditional Finnish games like Finnish baseball and other things like that. Next slide. And then post-GA. Finland is quite a unique country in that we're not the most touristic place, but the attractions we do have are incredibly unique. There are no other nature or environment in the world. Well, maybe Sweden will disagree, but at least in my view, Lapland is one of the or not Lapland, like the northern Finland is one of the most beautiful places in the world. We'll have two options. The first option is Vuokatti, which is like For me, it's quite north, but some people might disagree. You get to see beautiful lakes, beautiful nature, and it'll be organized in a like a cottage weekend way. In Pimsik, we usually have cottage weekends with our officers, and they'll be you'll be experiencing what Pimsik officers experience. The other option is uh, Helsinki, Turku, and Åland or Ahvenanmaa, and it's you'll get to see the coast of Finland. Next slide. Okay, visas. The thing is, like, we'll send this later. You don't have to memorize this. But there are some countries that require visas and some that don't. We'll be issuing invitation letters as soon as possible. And if you have concerns regarding getting to Europe or Finland, just contact us or the visa team, and we'll help you guys. Next slide is more visa stuff. And that's actually about it. We're super excited to welcome you to Finland. It wasn't an easy choice to apply as host, but we're so grateful that you believed in us and that you chose to elect us as host for AM24. Thank you so much.
Anyone have any questions?
Yes, we can still answer questions if there are any.
IFMSC,
All right.
you have a hand raised for a question, or it's from before?
It's on behalf, it's IFMSA VPPRC Shihar on behalf of the EB. Point of information, the EB will be amending the contract as per the informal vote and the wishes of the NMOs.
Okay, and thank you for the presentation. We're back to this. One sec. So next is adoption of the report of financial committee. However, no financial committee was elected and no motion to adopt the report was submitted. Okay. Adoption of financial reports from past terms. No motions to adopt financial reports were submitted. Adoption of amendments to the budget 23-24. No motions to amend were submitted. Changes to the status and opening and closing of standing committees and task forces. No motions were submitted. Adoption and changes to FMSA programs. No motions were received and no submissions. For the any other business point, we have only one regular motion, which is a mandate, review and reform for General Assembly fees system. I'm told that there is an alternative motion that's gonna be proposed as well. And can you please share the alternative motion as well with me so that we can go about it? Do we need to have a speakers list before this? It's a very long mandate. I cannot broadcast the whole thing. You need to check the email. Is it on the email? If not, this whole mandate is in the spreadsheet. Okay, so speakers list, was it required? I saw a hand in the back, but yes. Okay.
Pimsik Finland speaker list.
Yeah, anyone else? No, Fimsik, you can go.
Pimsik Finland, Pani speaking. The reason we submitted this mandate with Samsik Slovenia is because, as you all know, GAs have become increasingly difficult to organize, and we believe that the GA fee system is outdated, and we want the EB to work on this to the following months, and they will be presenting the results of their work in August meeting 2024. Another thing is that we have an alternative motion, or we have another version of the mandate that we submitted. So my question is, how do I get it to the so that we can vote on it as well? Thank you.
So because the extent of the change is too great, it's most likely going to be alternative motion. So there needs to be a direct negative in order to proceed to an alternative motion, in which case those with alternative motion need to propose it. I'm not entirely sure if IFMSA EB or TO can propose an alternative motion, but direct negative they definitely cannot, in case even if they can do an alternative motion. And just as an FYI, I cannot see any TO member on the yes. Yeah, I cannot see in the camera. You can speak now.
Okay. All right. Just a point of information that the amended version that we have prepared with the OC is the final one that has come out of mutual agreement among us. So we encourage NMOs to like use the direct negative and then support the alternative motion, because this is the one that is the final for us. There is no disagreement on that, but just we didn't have time yesterday to finalize it before the deadline. Thank you so much.
Anyone else wants to be on the speakers list about this mandate? So did you share the alternative somewhere? Since both of you agreed on the alternative, I might as well showcase that.
It was shared today on the server. It was first document and second document.
Okay. It is still a very elaborate mandate. Basically, this would be the original one, and here will be the alternative. I mean, is it possible for you to briefly explain this to people? I'm not sure that everyone had a chance to see it, and I don't want to necessarily read through the whole thing. So when we get to alternative motion, can you please elaborate what is changed? If anyone wants to read through this, they send it on the server. The email is mandate to EB to work on the GA fees reform. Yeah, a lot of objectives. Okay, so we have regular motion number 6, mandate for review and reform of General Assembly fee system with a deadline of August meeting 24 to IFMSA EB 2324. We're not going to read through the entire thing. CCC, can you confirm that the mandate is valid?
Yes, it was shared with us. We checked it. It's valid.
Thank you. FIMSIC Finland and Slavsic Slovenia are the proposers. We need 2 proposers for a mandate. Do you want to explain? Or the statement was enough? No? Do we have a seconder? Wait, they want to explain. Okay, sorry. Thought you were waving hand.
Sorry, are we explaining the alternative one or the original one?
Original.
Original?
We're now the process asking proposer if they want to explain the original one.
Or I sort of already explained, but we want the EB to work on the GA fees reform. Thank you.
Thank you.
But yes.
Well, we'll get to it as long as there is an opportunity to present an alternative motion, which requires another step. Do we have a seconder? I think I saw Zimsa Zimbabwe earlier. Yeah, Zimsa Zimbabwe. Okay. Do we have any amendments? I don't see any. Do we have an alternate? No. Do we have a direct negative? STMSA Estonia. Do you want to explain? Guess that's a no. Do we have alternative motion? Who would be the proposer of the alternative motion that was shared here? I don't know if FIMSIC Finland can be both the proposer of the original and the alternative. IFMSC Serbia, you're going to be the proposer of the alternative motion. IFMSC Serbia, do you want to further explain on this?
We'll propose the motion, alternative motion for FIMSIC Finland.
Thank you. I'm going to open a speakers list now as per the maze. Who wants to be in the speakers list? As chairperson, I would request that the changes are explained between two. FIMSIC, you can go.
Yes, just a moment. So instead of mandating the whole of executive board of 2023, 2024, we'll be mandating only the vice president for finance. And then we made some changes to the objectives. There are quite a few changes, but the idea of the motion or the mandate is still what it is. And we'll be like, we try to make it so that both NMOs will be happy with the mandate, but also that the EB could realistically work on it and that that they have clear objectives that they can work with. Also, we made some changes to the implementation timeline. So the initiation of the review would be March 2024. After if the mandate is adopted, they will be conducting feedback and consultation in April and June 2024. For May to June, they will develop reform proposals to be presented at the August meeting 2024. And between July and August, they would present their proposals. And that's about it. I hope most of you got the chance to read it through. I know I didn't send it. I sent it a few hours ago, and I'm sorry. I didn't just want to disrupt the elections. Thank you.
Anyone else that wants to be on the speakers list? Has a question about this? No. Okay, with that, we close the speakers list. And do we have a seconder for the alternative motion? So this is the seconder for the alternative motion, MSI India. Sonia, do you have the vote ready?
Yes, to confirm, it's going to be a regular motion number 6. I'm just titling it as mandate and the name of the mandate. There is no voting description because the contents of the mandate are too long. There, if I'm not wrong, there should be 4 options: in favor of the original motion, in favor of the alternative motion, abstain, and against.
Yes.
Yeah, with these confirmation, I am opening the vote now. NMOs, please log into the Nemo vote and complete your voting.
We have 37 votes. In total, 47 are present on the platform.
I am going to wait for 30 more seconds.
We have 42. We're gonna close the vote in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can close the vote.
I am going to read out the results of this motion. In favor of the original motion, 2. In favor of the alternative motion, 38. Number of NMOs abstaining, 3. Against, 1. Total number of NMOs who have voted for this is 44. And the motion and the alternative motion is incorporated with a relative majority.
CCC, can you confirm whether or not we need a second vote? Because these mandates require 2/3 majority to be adopted. From the vote, it is very clear that it's a 2/3 majority in the next one. So do we need to do a second vote?
Yes, technically, we still need to proceed to a second vote.
Okay.
The motion passes with the 2/3 majority, supported by the CCC interpretation.
No, CCC is saying we need to do a second vote.
Okay, sorry, I heard.
So this will
Okay.
be only voting in favor of the alternative motion that was already adopted. This is basically a vote of confidence for the alternative motion. In favor, against, abstain.
I am going to reopen the Nemo vote. I'm going to require a minute for it. Could you please repeat the regular motion number? Sorry.
6.
The vote should be open now. Please log into your Nemo vote and complete the voting. going to wait for 30 more seconds. We are still waiting for a lot of NMOs to vote. Please log into the Nemo vote and complete your voting.
Yeah, 45 that he voted. We're closing the vote in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can close the vote.
Number of NMOs who have voted in favor of the alternative motion is 44. Number of NMOs who have voted against is 1. Number of NMO which has abstained is 1. Total number of NMOs who have voted for this is 46. With this, the mandate passes with a 2/3 majority. Motion for the mandate passes with a 2/3 majority.
Can you repeat the votes, please?
Yes, I can. In favor, 44.
Okay.
Against, 1. Abstain, 1. Total number, 46.
Okay. Thank you. So with this, we would conclude the any other business point of the agenda. Before I open the adoption of the CCC report, I was asked to open a speakers list. So this speakers list will not be with trigger warnings. So this is the first one. Second one will have trigger warnings. So the first one will allow you time to leave the room if you want to. So no trigger warnings. Please make sure your statement does not have such things. IFMSA Quebec want to be on the speakers list. CFMS Canada. It's separate or together?
It's separate.
Okay. CROMC Croatia. Anyone else? LRP. Is that on your own behalf or someone else's?
Theo.
Anyone else? We will have another speakers list after the trigger warning. So this speakers list, trigger warning, final speakers list. We need to be done by 9 local time. Okay. Nobody else? Okay, IFMC Quebec, you can go.
This statement is on behalf of IFMC Quebec, DNM Brazil, ex-Catalonia, AMSA Hong Kong, IFMC Panama, CFMS Canada, AMF Mexico, IFMC Peru, AMSA Austria, IFMC El Salvador, IFMC Brazil, and IFMC LPH. Dear animals, we are gathered all together with young leaders and change makers, and we find it essential to use this opportunity to bring our attention to a deeply concerning global health issue. As you must already know, we are facing a climate crisis that is severely threatening the health of current and future generations. As a part of the healthcare workforce, it is not only a responsibility, but a duty to join our forces to advocate to keep the consequences of climate change to a minimum. The year 2024 started with the warmest month of January ever recorded. This has been happening for the last 8 years. We have already passed the limit of 1.5 degrees Celsius increase above the pre-industrial temperature average that was determined in the Paris Agreement to avoid the most extreme and irreversible consequences of climate change. Hence, the tremendous amount of consequences such as extreme temperatures, disturbance and loss of ecosystem, the emergence of zoonotic diseases and changes in patterns of infectious diseases transmission, impact on food security, extreme weather events, significant impact on population's health, as well as contribution to peace disturbance and political instability cannot be avoided anymore. We can only hope to mitigate these consequences with immediate, global, and drastic measures. A pivotal point that we would like to highlight is the global inequities in regard to climate change and its consequences. The global north is responsible for around half of emissions since the Industrial Revolution. as estimated by the World Inequality Database. Privileged lifestyles in Europe, North America, and other nations of the global north produce a carbon footprint 100 times greater than the global south. However, countries of the global south face the destructive consequences of climate change on their lands, their health, their people, their culture, which maintains and enhances global inequities. Hence, we stress that the most privileged countries should be held accountable and act consequently. Therefore, we urge all NMOs to take concrete actions to take part in mitigating the climate crisis. There are many things we can do to be part of the change, such as advocating to our government for an equitable and just transition, including fossil fuel phase out, contributing to making our health system sustainable, raising awareness among our members and local communities, and making choices for local, national, and international IFMSA events, and much more. We would also suggest that NMOs consider adopting a carbon compensation policy for exchanges, as it is already the case for IFMSA Quebec. As we believe student mobility is essential to achieve the mission of our federation, we also have to acknowledge its environmental impact and hold ourselves accountable for it. The same also applies for IFMSA events. While some things are unavoidable, and if we want to meet in person, we should strive to decrease their impact where possible, for example, by avoiding single-use plastics such as styrofoam cups, reducing waste, and unnecessary printing. It goes without saying that we are deeply concerned for our future, but let's translate these words into action. Thank you.
Thank you, CFMSA Canada.
This is a statement on behalf of CFMS Canada, IFMSA Quebec, AMMEF Mexico, IFMSA El Salvador, and others. Dear IFMSA family, we would like to begin by recognizing that this is IFMSA MM24 is hosted on the ancestral homelands of the Purua, Quinares, Queranqui, Saraguros, as well as the Tagari and Taromaneng people, along with the other indigenous peoples who live in voluntary isolation. In our homeland of Turtle Island, the land also known as Canada, we often begin our events and statements with a land acknowledgement. This acknowledgement is crucial to reconciliation and moving forward in collaboration with all indigenous populations. This land has a history marked by genocide, ethnic cleansing, stolen land, and forced removal, actions perpetrated by colonizers that must be recognized.
As medical students, we hold a uniquely important responsibility. The Indigenous communities across the globe are often underrepresented and underserved by medical systems. There is a disproportionately low percentage of Indigenous populations who are doctors in countries like Canada, Australia, Ecuador, and many others. The medical system time and time again ignores Indigenous ways of knowing and healing, ignoring spiritual and mental health considerations when treating Indigenous patients.
We call on the IFMSA to uphold the principles of reconciliation, not from words alone, but with action. And when we are unsure of what actions to take, that we take the steps to learn from our Indigenous communities, but also take time to educate ourselves. We must actively seek partnership and collaboration with Indigenous organizations. We must advocate for the restoration of Indigenous land rights and sovereignty. But most importantly, we must advocate for an equitable medical system that can properly support Indigenous populations. CFMS Canada wants to go a step further and discuss with the Liaison Officer of Human Rights and Peace issues to work on a policy document on the status of Indigenous health globally. If you are interested in contributing, please speak to us afterwards so we can collaborate. We hope that this can be the first step of many to build an equitable and accessible healthcare system for the Indigenous communities of the world. Thanks, everybody.
Multi-Pervan Hihim Consecration. Dear IFMSA family, dear plenary team, dear chairperson. This statement is on the behalf of Kromsik Croatia, IFMSA Serbia, Momsik Montenegro, Slomsik Slovenia. With this statement, we would like to extend our gratitude to the chair and the plenary team for their commitment and efforts. We believe that this plenary underlined the importance of having experienced plenary team and active participation of NMOs. Collaboration between all the involved parties and possible weak spots in bylaws to be addressed during the next GA. We want to thank the chair for his selfless dedication to ensure informed decision-making and democracy, his patience and his willingness to share knowledge and experience. Despite the numerous challenges, different time zones, not being able to be present in the person, the chair successfully navigated through the plenaries, showcasing resilience and expertise. Nebojsa, we are thankful for everything you have done for this federation and beyond words proud that we can call you one of our own. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. IFMSA Theo.
Yes, this is IFMSA LRP on behalf of the TO. Dear EB, TO, NMOs, and members of IFMSA, please show your support by raising your voting cards if you resonate with this message. International Women's Day is a time to celebrate all self-identifying women's social, economic, cultural, and political achievements worldwide and an opportunity to recognize the challenges that women continue to face in their pursuit of equity. The International Federation of Medical Students Associations emphasizes the crucial role of gender equity in providing a safe and supportive environment for individuals of all genders to pursue their aspirations and live free from societal stigma and discrimination. IFMSA acknowledges that achieving gender equity and empowering women necessitates collaborative efforts encompassing internal structural reforms and external advocacy. We recognize the significance of fostering women's leadership and representation with our NMOs. One of the initial steps towards achieving gender equity within our NMOs involves conducting a comprehensive assessment of our current structures, policies, and practices. This entails examining the representation of women in leadership roles and identifying any obstacles or biases hindering their progression. Hence, we urge all NMOs to prioritize gender balance in leadership positions, establish leadership development initiatives tailored specifically for women, institute mentorship programs, and cultivate safe and supportive environments where women can openly share their experiences and perspectives. It is imperative that we actively listen to and amplify their voices. Furthermore, we wish to reiterate the commitment outlined in the policy document on gender equity, which was just adopted in the 73rd March meeting 2024, and the policy document Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, which was adopted in the 71st IFMSA General Assembly in August meeting 2022. NMOs pledge to promote educational leadership opportunities for all medical students, regardless of gender, and utilize existing mechanisms within IFMSA to advance gender equity, such as integrating gender and human rights related activities into programs. Moreover, we would like to salute IFMSA's efforts in creating safe spaces for all genders by creating an intersectional IFMSA and implementing the Code of Conduct Committee in all IFMSA events. However, we believe that achieving gender equity is not merely about reaching a target percentage. It requires ongoing intersectoral dialogues and the elimination of gender biases deep down within everyone. On International Women's Day, let us collectively reflect on all the challenges faced by women worldwide, knowing that the power to dismantle barriers and initiate change lies within each of us. Let us celebrate those women that came before us and their times, showing a monumental amount of courage, integrity, and resolution to push for what women deserve. We respect women's beautiful achievements in the past centuries and look into the future for the next sets of milestones. Together, let us strive for a truly inclusive and equitable world for all. Happy International Women's Day. Warm regards, your LRA and LRP on behalf of the TO.
Thank you. So just an FYI, we have one more speakers list now after this for trigger warnings. Then after that, we'll have CCC report and then final speakers list.